Hi, and welcome to this art gallery where we show the concept art that went into the film. Today, with me, Joe Spadaford, is Mike Naraki, the voice of Larry the Cucumber.
Hello, Joe.
Hi, let's get right to it.
All right.
I wish I was as thin as that picture right now.
Well, you're very square jawed, though. That's very nice. So, oh look, there's some artwork right there.
Yeah, we started off like last time. Petunia or Julia in this film made a special appearance, and she's Cuke's co-star.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's a lovely senorita dress you have her in for her Mexican ice cream.
But we had, costume changes in this film because, as you know, Minnesota Cuke travels around the world. And, in Turkey, it's quite cold sometimes.
Especially Mount Ararat up at that high elevation.
At the yeah. And we wanted to give her a breathing apparatus, but that just didn't work out.
An iron lung.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's Larry the Cucumber.
Mike actually has a wig like this at home, and he wears it every night, I'm told.
No, I do, although I do have a Napoleon Dynamite wig. We redid the first couple of scenes, working with Todd Carter. We just thought it'd be funny. The goal was to have Cuke be humiliated at the end of this experience. And so, what better way to be humiliated than be dressed up in a dress and a wig?
Yeah, dressed in your grandma's nightgown and a clown wig.
That's right. Yep.
How often is it that you get to see Bob and Larry as kids?
Yeah, they're veggie babies. Larry's tooth, as he was drawn in concept there, when it came to reality, when they actually built it in 3D, as Larry would talk, his mouth would just be full of white. so
that was his baby tooth.
Yeah, that was his baby tooth. So we had to reduce it. So when you see it in actuality, it will be a little bit smaller, but it's awfully cute in his wide mouth smile like that.
Okay, the potato guards, we were trying to think for a long time as to like what could be a big guard, what could be the vegetable that we've used, and we thought back to the past of potato from Sumo the Opera, and we just put some angry eyebrows on him, and he just looks like a big beefy bouncer guy, that you just don't want to mess with. Warren Muffet in the script was described as kind of a crazy old
eccentric
okay.
is loopy with money. He wrote the poem that made him famous and that made his fortune, the Little Miss Muffet poem. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet eating her curds and whey. So that's where he made his money.
We tried to make him look a little eccentric by giving him some kind of wacky hair and a big bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
And
grandpa pants all pulled up high.
All pulled up high, that's right. He doesn't care what people think.
If he had hands and he would put them in his pocket, they would jingle. You could just hear the change jingling in his pants. Wicked Wicker. We
couldn't design him in such a way that he looked too radically different because there's a scene in the film where Cuke is supposed to be confused as to who is the actual
Rattan.
Who's
Rattan and who's Wicker? Yeah.
Yeah. So this was we had to do some minor tweaks, but enough that you could actually see that he was quite different. Mm-hmm. And
got the red hair and the red tie, and the mole is on the other side of his face too. So
yeah,
that's a fun little thing. So, and then also a nice little piece of trivia: Wicker and rattan are two types of furniture material. Would you say sort of reedy, Well, just go to a Pier 1, and you'll see some rattan and some wicker.
As always, on all of our shows, we try to take a broad look at the entire show just in color. And, color is a tool that you can also use to help tell stories. And when you go to a light and cheery place, you expect something, happy-go-lucky to happen. And then we wanted to make a really big jump to where the last scene takes place, which is in Turkey. And we wanted to make a big leap from warm to cool. And it also helps to emphasize that this is kind of like where the bad guy is.
Color also affects emotion. And so what we try to do in a whole color script is sort of, as you look at this page, you can kind of feel the story as you go along and make sure that the feelings that you want in the story are reflected in the colors that you're using.
This was one of the toughest things to do, Mike, actually. Doing when you read the script, it was pretty clear that there had to be a really elaborate floor pattern on the ground. So, we had to figure out a way of making a really complicated pattern that would actually hide the umbrella if you weren't looking at it from the right angle.
It's hidden in plain sight, I guess, was the sort of the idea.
Yep, yep, that was the idea. And I think it came out pretty nice in the film.
Yeah, looks nice.
Now, helado.
Helado. You don't want to say,
Helado.
yeah, that H is silent. Yeah,
Okay, now,
helado.
yeah, that is the proper way of saying ice cream.
Yes, quiero helado. I lived on the south side of Chicago for many years, and we'd have these guys, come down the street with this little ice cream cart, and they'd ring the bell, and paletas, which means little popsicles,
Oh,
so they'd
really?
be selling ice popsicles. The Susie Action Jeep, repurposed.
Every once in a while, we'll find something we've made before, and we just alter it slightly to use it in a new show. And so what we did was we went to the SUV song. We kind of adjusted it. We added, we changed the back part of the SUV.
Before the SUV song was, I think it was the countertop in Madame Blueberry, where Larry bought a Susie Action Jeep.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so we actually pulled the Susie Action Jeep out of our digital backlot to put into the silly song so this is like the second or third time that we've used it.
We didn't know at that time what the show would be, the movie playing would be.
The Secret Film of Noah.
The Secret Film of Noah. So we had to throw something just in there, but we wanted to get the feeling of the place when the lights were a little bit dimmed.
The actual Film of Noah, Joe here did all of the stills for the elements for it. So like the animals and Noah and the umbrella. And then I got to animate it. So I took all those parts and moved them and made it look like an old film.
See, Larry the Cucumber can animate, kids.
How about that? No hands. This is an inn, so it's the Kuman Inn, built high atop Mount Ararat. It's the oldest inn in Turkey. That's what we call it. And of course, if you watch the whole show, you find out at the end that it's actually, when we're in the inn, we're actually inside of Noah's Ark, which is kind of a fun reveal at the very end. And we kind of wanted to hint at it from the beginning, but not give it away until the very end when we do the actual reveal. So
actually, Chuck Fulmer designed this
location.
location.
Yeah, Chuck. Okay, Chuck did this location. That's right. Anything involving wood, Chuck is really good at. So Chuck is a woodworker, and he loves working with wood, even if he's just drawing it. So he did a nice job sort of kind of giving that archy feel to it. You see in the beams, it kind of has the inside of a ship feel.
Chuck figured out all the mechanisms for allowing the doorway to appear behind the fireplace. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of a lot of trickery, and it took a lot of thinking. Well, the Ice Cave was one of those locations where when I read the script and I was making the textures for the Ice Cave, I was, I had other films in mind, other cartoon animated films that had done ice just so well, and they did just a tremendous job bringing this thing to life.
You definitely get a really nice feeling of almost this translucent ice with kind of light coming from many different directions. And this is another angle of the Ice Cave. Again, just really nice. I mean, there's just enough. Tonally, with foreground and background and, the way the silhouettes read on each other, it just gives it helped to really inform the space. And, if you look at this in the show itself, it looks right on the nose.
Thank you very much. And I hope you guys enjoyed, you guys and gals enjoyed this new addition to the Minnesota Cuke world. And I hope to see you again on another one, because I love this character. This is one of my favorite characters. Good job.
Thanks, Joe, and thanks for having me as your special guest.
All right.